Hello there, wonderful people. This is Andre of GVGINU. Thank you very much for listening in and giving me your time and ear. I have another Wii U game idea. Another one I thought would make so much sense and would be so easy to think up, but I'm like, maybe I'm the only one thinking of this stuff. Maybe I am. Maybe. Just maybe. But this idea is called RPMii. Play on RPG, yes, I know. It's not like your typical JRPG. This is more of like a Western RPG in mindset. Not fully, but similar, pretty close. I'd say honestly it's probably more of a fantasy world type of idea with some RPG elements than anything else. But again, digress a little bit. So RPMii, this idea actually comes from a game that I've appreciated on the Xbox 360 called Avatar Legends, which is made by Barker's Crest Studio. They're an indie team that made the game. It's actually really interesting. It's quite a bit more than just a game. It's like it's a game as well as an engine to build your own story with it. And I was like, that something like this would rock on the Wii U because it could be done far more efficiently. And Miis, I think, come on, come on, Nintendo. I know somebody's looking like, why are you moving your hands so much? Stop doing that. It's annoying. I don't care. But yeah. RPMii. The basic premise is this. You're playing in like an action RPG type of game, utilizing your Mii as your character. Or any Mii on your console for that fact of the matter. Like, not necessarily the one that's tied to your Nintendo ID. Nintendo Network ID or your profile from Miiverse, but any Mii that's on your console can be like the Mii that you use to play the game. Obviously, I'd pick my own Mii, but I mean, like it's just to give choice and options to people. Since this isn't a fantasy RPG type of thing, like every Mii's color is indicative of a specific magical element. So a red Mii, fire. The darker blue color for Mii's is water. Brown, I would say, is earth. Yeah, I know somebody was probably thinking green would be earth. No, green, I would make wind. Yellow, I'd say lightning. Light blue, ice. The lighter green, I would probably. I'm trying to think of what that could be. Lighter green could be poison. Yes, poisonous magic. Pink could be healing, like, well, obviously, like self-healing and healing party members or something like that. White, light magic. Black, dark magic. Gray. I can't think of a name for this. But it would have to be something nebulous. I'm trying to think of. I can't call it nebulous magic. That just doesn't sound right. Oh man. I'll get back to that one eventually. I can't think of a perfect name for the gray Mii's power. Maybe theirs could be reality warping type magic. Yeah, that could work. I can deal with that. That would work out perfectly fine. I can go on for hours trying to deal with colors and matching them up to different magical elemental types and stuff like that. But we'll just say each Mii's color is indicative of a different type of magic. Not necessarily an element, but a different type of magic that they start off with at the base. Not saying they can't learn other types of magic, but at their base they learn. They start out with this type of magic is what you have in the beginning. So yeah, that works. In the game, you'd be able to get different types of armor, different types of weapons, things like that. You'd be able to pick different classes of me. I'd say a warrior class with your basic sword and shield, a mage utilizing a staff, a sage, which would be different than a mage. Sage would be like a combination of the warrior and mage classes. They would have like a sword and shield and have a light dabbling. Well, no, couldn't really do that because everybody would technically have magic. That'd kind of be a wasted class. I guess the sage would just be no, scratch the sage class. You have your warrior. I'd have mage. Mages would have stronger, more potent magic, but then they'd take more physical damage. Whereas obviously a warrior is going to do more physical damage and have less potent magic. Maybe a ninja class, a dual blade class, a tank type of class like a juggernaut. There's a lot of possibilities. I could name quite a few, but you get my point. You know where I'm going with this. I've been saying a lot. I gotta stop doing that. But yeah, deal with the classes. Already did it. Your classes. Then you would move on to like the different. I gotta stop doing it. The different different sets of armor and equipment. Oh, it's part of my natural language. I can't help it. Different armor, different equipment, different weapons for your classes and things like that. You guys know what I'm talking about. As well as a specific set of base traits that your character gets for one, their class, their class as well as their color. Certain colors get certain sets of stats, and certain classes get certain sets of stats, and that whatever those combined totals are, is what your character will be starting out as. I don't know why I gotta stop with the hands. Yeah. I would set this game up to be multiplayer online. I'd probably try to make this an MMO, but I don't think you could necessarily make it an MMO with something else that I'm going to talk about in a little while, because it would I think it would be contradictory to playing the game. I'd personally set this game up somewhat similar to Fantasy Life, but using your Miis instead. So it's not not exactly like it, but then yeah. I'd add in job classes. I didn't even think about job classes. And each job class would, depending on whether you're a farmer, blacksmith, merchant, like a gypsy, whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. Different types of classes earn different stat bonuses, and that would also be added to whatever your Mii's initial stats are. So you have 3 sources of choices that combine to make your initial stats. And everyone would start out at level 1. I'm tired of RPG games starting people out at like level 5 and level 7. I'm like, what's the point? Why is there not a level 1? Like, stop skipping us levels. Like, it makes me feel lazy. I don't like that. But yeah, the game would definitely have to have like its own general story that people could play together on and play through. I'd set it up for 1 to 4 players simultaneously, where you have drop in, drop out co-op. I'd set this game up for keyboard support so that you could have textual chatting to comment back and forth with people, sort of like Xenoblade Chronicles X is going to do. I would also personally add in voice chat for friends, but textual communication for randoms that you don't know. And eventually, if they get on your friends list, yeah, you can talk to them. See, I'm flexible in that thought set, that mindset. We set it up where you can take on different missions and things like that. Actually, this is sounded also quite similar to Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. Yeah, Fantasy Life isn't too different from that. But you have your initial set of missions and objectives and things to take care of. Like maybe give the game like a 20-hour story mode that you can initially play through, where you could build up your Mii and earn different equipment and stuff, which would be great. I'd also have like a online competitive mode, which I would make this mode similar to what Happy Wars is on the 360 and the Xbox One. I think it's on the Xbox One now. I think they got a version of Happy Wars. Happy Wars is fun. If you have not played it, you have to play that game. It's fun as heck. But the multiplayer mode, like the competitive multiplayer mode with teams, where you're playing back and forth against another team, 4 players, 4-on-4 versus, or well, up to 4-on-4 versus, where you're playing back. Screw that. Up to 8-on-8 versus where you're playing, and you're playing each side is playing from. They're playing from 2 different strongholds, and you're trying to take over the other team's stronghold. And that's it. Nothing else other than that. But with various tools that allow for different, like cutscenes to play and give you an advantage or a disadvantage depending on who initiated it. But that would be pretty cool. Another thing which I would going back to Avatar Legends is the story creation mode, where you can literally come up with your own game within the game, where you could come up with your own characters, your own stories, things like that. Obviously, the game would have to have like some monsters and things that you can face, and like boss characters that you can set up and stuff like that, and where you can gain different levels of experience and stuff like this. I'd also set it up so that you could use your Miis as NPCs, NPCs that don't do anything, like the ones that you just talk to and get information from, NPCs that you can partner up with if you don't have anyone playing online with you as a partner, because I would make it so that the stories that you can download and play, you would be able to play online with other people as long as they have downloaded the story that is made by another person. You get where I'm going? If 2 people want to play, like, say I create a story that's about dark lands and Miis being set on fire at random. I know that just sounds horrible, but just go with me on this. Miis being set on fire at random, and you guys want to play together. Both of you have to have the story downloaded to be able to play together. That's all the requirement is. You both have to have it downloaded to play together, and you have to be on each other's friends list. You cannot play downloaded stories with randoms. That'd be the other drawback. You cannot play downloaded stories with randoms. They have to be in your friends list. Cool. Still the same drop in, drop out multiplayer, but you just can't play with randoms that way. Going back to what I was saying, you use Miis for general NPCs, support NPCs, as well as use them for enemies, depending on how you want to set your story up. You'd have your generic monsters that you can put in and set up for different areas and fights of the game. You can create your story and be so easy using the gamepad, as well as design your world areas with a certain... But the game will come with some preset assets for you to use for different themes and things like that. Yeah, and what Avatar Legends can't do half the things I'm talking about. Another thing that Avatar Legends can't really do is you can't enter and exit buildings. I would set it up. This game be able to enter and exit buildings, like, and be able to design the inside of the buildings. It's certain. But all of the buildings, depending on what type of building you place, they'll have a certain amount of space within them that you can use, and you cannot build anything bigger than that space. So say if you build a house and the house is meant to have like 4 rooms in it, you can't just put a 5th room in the house and say, not 4 rooms, but let's see. Say the house is like I know this is going to be a horrible example, but maybe the house is like 600 square feet on the inside of the house. You cannot build the house to be... It's 600 square feet wide. That's what I was trying to say. The house is 600 square feet wide, but you cannot build the width to be 700 square feet. You can't go past 600. It'll stop if you try to go up to 601. You got what I'm saying? I convoluted my own point. Well, you can build basement levels to certain structures, but there will also be a limitation to that. As a house, you will not be able to go past 2 basements. I would not allow it. You can go to basement 1 and basement 2. No more than that. Say like a store, like a huge store, you could probably have like 3 basements. Or a cave, because caves can be infinite. You can have up to like 20 basements in a cave. And so on and so forth. Or if it's like a big hideout or something, maybe like 10 basements and like 10 levels up, just depending on what you want to do with the structure. They're customizable within within certain limitations. There we go. And the Miis that you can use don't necessarily have to be... Well, you can use any Miis that are saved to your Wii U for your stories. You can also import Miis, like just general Miis that are just put online for this game specifically. You can import them down to your console and use them as well. Man, I'm just like all over the place. But you can use that to develop your own story within the story, your own game within the game, basically. Story within the game. There we go. Yeah, I did that. I was overthinking and going back in loops. But I don't really think I've got too much more I can add to this right now. I mean, hey, if anybody else can think of anything, feel free. To me, I'm looking at it as like, this is like a golden opportunity. You got this created, this original character thing that you're not utilizing very much in games, so I'll throw out an idea. But yeah, that's really it. Thank you very much for listening. Keep your eyes and ears up for more of my stuff. And until the next time, enjoy your games. Peace out.